the Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.
Hi, I'm Cherry Johnson with Watauga County Arts Council, and the lady with me probably is familiar to some of you. If not, you don't know the artistic talent in this community very well, because this is Susan Lutz, and she's been a part of the artistic community here in Watauga County for as long as I've known you, which has been a lot of years.
It has.
Susan has been a dance professor at the university for more than 20 years, I know, and you have done a lot of cool things in the community, but one of the things that you've been doing for a lot of years is the annual bringing of the North Carolina Dance Festival to our beautiful community. And you were telling me that we're one of 5 in the state. Man, we're big time. I didn't have any idea. The other places are?
Greensboro, Wilmington, Raleigh, and Charlotte.
See? And Boone.
And Boone.
Of course. And you said we actually do the best in terms of audience and that kind of thing all of those venues.
We do.
Which says a lot for our community and the value of dance to our community, which is great. So this year it's coming back again.
It is coming back again, yes. October 25th through the 27th.
That's pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
It is. So what all have you got to do between now and October the 25th, Susan?
Quite a bit, actually. We have 3 of the dances that will be performed every night are local. Mm-hmm. 2 by students and 1 actually by me.
Ooh.
And
I don't think I've ever seen Susan dance.
No, I'm not dancing. I just choreographed it. And the interesting thing is that the touring companies that come in, and we have different ones every night, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, come in during that day, and they do all their tech rehearsals and all their lighting requirements in the afternoon and then perform that evening.
Wow.
So it's kind of hectic for those 3 days.
Exactly.
For them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now you're in charge of venue, obviously, and all the local arrangements. Mm-hmm. And what else happens on your end of the deal?
Well, I'm kind of the liaison with all the touring companies that come in and have to get their program information and decide program order and any of the technical necessities that they need, if they need any special lighting or that kind of thing. We have to have that all kind of ready ahead of time. So we are actually the second venue. They've already performed in Raleigh.
And now we're next. And so it's not the same show in all 5 cities.
No, because basically what happens is the touring part is about 2/3 of the concert, mm-hmm. and then each venue brings in their own local artists.
I get it. Okay.
To fill up the rest of the program. Okay.
So tell us about you just mentioned the local aspect. Tell us more about the touring aspect of it. What are they bringing in?
Well, what happens is that the North Carolina Dance Festival has people submit work, and then they have an adjudication panel that picks the works. There are 8 different dances that travel, and it's really very eclectic. You see all different kinds of things.
That's good.
On the show. Mm-hmm. It's really very good. And it's really exciting because you never know exactly what you're going to get. Each year it's very different. They are all North Carolina artists. Mm-hmm. The vision of the North Carolina Dance Festival it's really twofold. It's to give local artists, North Carolina artists, an opportunity to perform.
Right.
And also to give communities, especially communities like Boone, the opportunity to see what's going on in the state that we wouldn't normally get to see. So it's to kind of expose dance to all different parts of the state, at the same time supporting North Carolina artists. And it was kind of done in a way to encourage North Carolina artists to stay in North Carolina. Good. And not go to New York, not go to Chicago, but to feel like there are opportunities here for them to create and share with audiences.
And still do their dance.
Right.
That's really important.
And
that's one of the big goals of the arts community. Not that we don't want to send them off to the big time if that's what they need to do, but
right.
But we really do try to encourage them to see it as a viable way of earning a living wherever they are.
Exactly.
And using their art form to both create and to survive.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Both of which are important.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so your role is basically you're choreographing a big event is basically what you're doing, and so you're making it available to the community on again October the 25th
through the 27th.
Through the 27th.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay, and the performances are at 7:30.
7:30 at the Valborg Theater.
And tickets are available how?
You can either call or go by the box office in Valborg, or you can do it online as well.
Okay. Now, if I'd never been to one of these, and I were going to come to this, what would I expect to happen?
Well, I think again you would see a very eclectic evening, a lot of different things.
Short performances of several?
Yes, there'll be, let me think, 6 different dances each night. And, everything from serious duets to larger group numbers. One of the new participants this year is, let me get this name right, Gary Taylor in the Winston-Salem Festival Ballet. So it's a little more balletic. Mostly they're the modern style of dance, but that can mean anything because modern is so different depending on the choreographer that you have. And there's one that also uses multimedia. It uses video projection. The music is all over the map, and I would think anybody, even if they're not a dance aficionado, would come and find 1 or 2 dances that they love every night.
That's cool. And
because
it's not
they're
the
very
same every
different.
night? Or it is the same show every night?
No, it's not. We bring in, we'll bring in 3 touring artists on Thursday, 3 different ones on Friday, and then 2 different ones on Saturday.
Okay, so you really need to go all 3 times.
Absolutely, if you want to see everything.
I'm glad we made that point clear, because
Yeah.
that's one that I didn't really catch, so that's really good to know, because I'm so used to promoting things like theater productions, which is the same show.
The same every night.
3 times or whatever.
Now what we do is our local pieces, we have 3 local pieces, they will be the same every night.
Right.
But the touring pieces will be totally different each night.
That sounds neat. So each night there will be a total of how many performances generally? I mean, you just said
6.
6 performances. Okay.
I think Saturday there are only 5. But
okay. All right. This reminds me a little bit of something that Arts Council directors get to do that's a whole lot of fun, and that is one of the things we do is go to arts markets. And when you go to an arts market, your goal is to find things to bring back to your community, and you're given an array of things from which to choose. So we go to what they call showcases. And showcases are a series of performances, usually around 10 to 20 minutes in length, one right after another, right after another, right after another. This kind of sounds like it's going to have the same feel to it. And so that actually is a whole lot of fun, because, one of the good things about showcases is every now and then you will hit one that just isn't your cup of tea, But that's okay, because you're not there for 2 hours. You're there for 10 or 20 more minutes, and then it switches to something else.
Right.
And
exactly.
so even if you don't like one kind of performance, you're going to like another one. So it's worth going.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let me just mention who's coming. Actually, Thursday night is E.E. Balcos, who is director of a dance company called E.E. Motion from Charlotte. And then also the Kearns Dance Project, they're from Burlington. And Carol Finley, who's from Raleigh. And then on Friday night, we have the John Gamble Dance Theater from Greensboro, and Code FAD Company from Raleigh, and also the Van Dyke Dance Group from Greensboro. Now, the Van Dyke Dance Group is directed by Jan Van Dyke, who is the original creator of the North Carolina Dance Project. And
really?
she's the head honcho of the whole thing. She started it in Greensboro many years ago, and actually for the first 4 years it was only in Greensboro, and then she decided to tour it.
How neat.
And Boone was one of the first venues that it toured to, and we've been one of the constants ever since.
That's great.
But so she's going to bring her choreography on Friday night. Saturday night is Gary Taylor and the Winston-Salem Festival Ballet, and from Winston-Salem, obviously, and Gaspard and dancers from Durham. So we have representatives from all over the state.
Now you're talking about all of these people, or virtually all these people, are people who, that's their profession. That's what they do, is dance all the time. Now your profession is teaching dance. Tell me
Well,
why.
now a lot of these actually are teachers too.
Are they?
E.E. Balkos is a professor at UNC Charlotte. Lauren Kearns teaches at Elon. Carol Finley teaches at Meredith. John Gamble just retired from UNCG, and actually Jan Van Dyke also just retired from UNCG.
So are we going to see the Susan Lutz company touring the stage?
Perhaps sometime, yeah.
So there's always another direction you may go in.
Sure.
That's interesting to know. Because I was going to ask you, why are you teaching instead of performing, just for your own, why did you make that decision?
It's more stable.
Good point. Good point.
And I had kids to raise, so.
So this was a way to do it.
Yeah.
So
And I do love it. I do love it.
That's great. That's great. Well, Susan, you do a lot to really enrich this community, and we appreciate everything you do.
Well, thank you.
And we're looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a great performance.
I hope people come out. It really is. It really is a wonderful performance. Very professional. And also, I think, you can see dance through the Cultural Arts series at Farthing, or soon to be whatever it's going to be called. But to see professionals in Valborg, which is a much more intimate theater, is really a different experience.
Yes.
And it's really, really very impactful. I mean, I think you get a much better, you're not that far away. It's not these people that you can't really see or identify. But in Valborg, you're right there. You can see everything.
I always say there's no bad seats at all. Well,
No
there are no bad
bad
seats in
seats.
either one, but in Valborg in particular, you feel like you're almost part of it.
You really do.
Whereas in what was Farthing, now we'll all see what happens when they finally unveil the new version.
Right.
But in Farthing, you sat as part of an audience and looked up on a stage. Whereas in Valborg, you're not that way. It's like you're almost hovering over the stage.
Right.
So
and I can say that over all these years, and we've been doing this since 1996, the companies that come love to perform there. It's one of their places. It's really funny because not only is Valborg one of their favorite places to perform, but they all love coming to Boone. It's
Of course
like their
they do.
favorite thing to do. And we usually do it in October,
which is pretty.
which is really beautiful, that a lot of them don't even get to take advantage of. So
You get paid to do it,
and they
sure.
get paid to do it. Yeah.
There's always a perk there.
Oh, absolutely.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for what you're doing for this community.
You're quite welcome, and thank you for what you do for this
Well,
community.
Thank you. And we look forward to seeing you again next week.
Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.